The American Academy of Pediatrics has issued a resounding call for a complete ban on one of the most ubiquitous baby products across the nation. We're not talking about a mere warning here. This is a definitive call for a complete prohibition. And chances are, it's currently tucked away in a garage or basement right around your corner. I'm referring, of course, to baby walkers. But here's where the revelation truly becomes astonishing. Walkers are just one item among 7 common products that parents, with the best of intentions, acquire believing they are beneficial, when in reality, they subtly instigate developmental delays that may not fully manifest for months or even years down the line. Consider number 5 on this critical list. It's actively marketed as a vital safety device, finds its place in a staggering 90% of all baby nurseries. And yet, pediatricians are urgently pleading with parents to cease its use. By the time you reach the conclusion of this video, your perspective on your baby's nursery will have fundamentally shifted. This isn't to imply you're an inadequate parent. Rather, it's because the crucial, often overlooked truth is that no one is adequately explaining what these seemingly innocent products genuinely do to developing little bodies and burgeoning brains. Let's begin our journey with the items that inadvertently hinder your baby's natural movement. Number 1, baby walkers. The scientific research concerning baby walkers is incredibly clear and, frankly, leaves no room for debate. A comprehensive study involving 190 infants unequivocally demonstrated that babies who regularly used walkers began walking an average of 3 to 4 weeks later than their peers who did not. Furthermore, these walker-using infants scored measurably lower on critical developmental assessments conducted at both 10 and 14 months of age. But the situation, unfortunately, deteriorates. When a baby is confined within a walker, they aren't engaging in the intricate process of learning to walk. Instead, they are acquiring an entirely different and, frankly, unnatural movement pattern. They learn to propel themselves by pushing off primarily with their toes and essentially rolling rather than striding. This method requires absolutely no genuine balance, demands no fundamental core strength, and completely bypasses the essential problem: solving skills involved in learning how to shift one's weight without tumbling. And here's a critical insight that often eludes parents: all that precious floor time. The determined struggling, the adorable wobbling, the soft falls onto their padded diaper, and the subsequent triumphant attempts to stand again. This isn't simply frustration. This is their nascent nervous system diligently constructing the vital neural pathways necessary for independent, confident movement. Each and every instance your baby manages to catch themselves before a fall, that is their cerebellum actively learning and refining critical motor control. Every time they bravely pull themselves up on the edge of the couch, and their little legs tremble with the sheer effort. That is muscle memory being deeply encoded, laying the foundation for future strength and coordination. The walker, however, bypasses this entire, essential developmental sequence. Now, let's compound this with the undeniable safety issues. Walkers, by their very design, grant babies a level of mobility far before they possess the necessary judgment to handle it safely. Suddenly, your inquisitive 8-month-old can effortlessly reach the treacherous stairs, the hot stove, or even that table laden with a steaming cup of coffee. The American Academy of Pediatrics meticulously reviewed all available data and concluded with unequivocal clarity: this product should not exist. And yet, despite this stark medical advice, baby walkers are still prominently displayed and sold in every major retail store, routinely given as well-intentioned gifts, and relentlessly marketed to exhausted parents desperate for just 10 precious minutes of hands-free time. So, what's the truly effective alternative? Simple, yet profoundly impactful: floor play. Actively engage with them, holding their hands as they practice walking alongside you. Invest in a sturdy push toy, one that provides real resistance and doesn't roll away too easily, forcing your baby to genuinely work and exert effort to move it. Your baby will naturally walk when their body is physiologically ready, and they will undoubtedly achieve this milestone with far greater proficiency and fewer compensatory habits without the artificial aid of a walker. Number 2. Bumbo seats or those early sit-up chairs. A quick question for you. How many of you have encountered those snug, molded foam seats designed to hold babies upright even before they possess the strength to sit independently? Now, let me share the crucial piece of information that almost no one tells you. Sitting isn't a skill you actively teach. It's an organic process that unfolds and develops intrinsically from the inside out. When babies are given ample time on their tummies, rolling, pushing up on their arms, and exploring their environment, they are rigorously building the deep, foundational core muscles that ultimately make independent sitting possible. However, when we artificially prop them up, we impose undue pressure on a spine that is not yet mature enough to handle it, effectively skipping over the vital muscle development that must occur first. Consider it this way. Imagine being locked into a rigid position that you simply don't have the intrinsic strength to maintain, and then being left there. That, in essence, is precisely what these seats impose upon a developing infant. The genuine solution? More floor time. Allow your baby the freedom and opportunity to discover and master sitting precisely as nature intended. They will typically progress from pushing up from their tummy into a side-sitting position initially, then evolve to sitting with their hands forward for crucial support. Eventually, they will achieve independent sitting because their body has earned and built the necessary capabilities. And that, truly, is when sitting becomes functionally meaningful and genuinely beneficial for their overall development. But delaying your baby's physical milestones might not be the most damaging item on this list, because the next 2 categories of products interfere with something even more fundamental: the intricate way your baby's brain learns to process information and think asterisk. Number 3, screens and so-called educational baby videos. All right, deep breath, because I'm about to discuss screens, and I can already sense a defensive posture from some of you. Please just stay with me. Here's what the empirical research consistently demonstrates, and I'm referring to rigorously peer-reviewed studies, not mere opinions or anecdotal evidence. For babies under 2 years of age, screens do not genuinely teach. Instead, they demonstrably delay crucial language acquisition and essential social development. You might counter, but my baby absolutely loves watching videos. They seem so incredibly focused. And that, precisely, is the core of the problem. Your baby's eyes are undeniably drawn to the bright, captivating colors. Their attention is completely hijacked by the rapid movement and constant novelty. But this is not true, active learning. This is merely passive, arrested attention. And here lies the critical distinction. Babies learn language through dynamic, reciprocal human interaction, the authentic back-and-forth dance of communication. They need to babble and hear you respond with meaningful sounds and words. They need to point at an object and hear you explicitly name it. They need to observe your face subtly change expressions as you speak, connecting words with emotion and context. Videos, by their very nature, cannot replicate this rich, multisensory exchange. Even supposedly, interactive videos lack the sophisticated ability to respond to your specific baby's unique sounds, nuanced gestures, and individual developmental pace in real time. But there's an additional, more insidious effect at play. That constant, rapid-fire stimulation, the quick cuts, the flashing colors, the relentless stream of sensory input, inadvertently renders the rich tapestry of real life seem comparatively dull and unstimulating. Genuine conversations unfold at a slower, more deliberate pace. Authentic play is often quieter, inviting deeper engagement. And babies, exposed to such intense digital stimulation, can begin to crave that heightened sensory input, making it increasingly challenging for them to engage with the patient, responsive, and often subtler interactions that their developing brains actually need for healthy growth. Now, let me be absolutely clear. I am not suggesting that your baby is irrevocably ruined if they have had some exposure to screens. What I am asserting is this. Every single minute spent in front of a screen is a minute not spent engaging in the vital, back-and-forth interaction that genuinely builds foundational language skills. A baby who spends 2 hours daily watching educational videos will indeed hear thousands of words. However, a baby who dedicates that very same 2 hours with a responsive, engaged caregiver, being talked to, sung to, and read to, will not only hear a greater volume of words, but will encounter them within a rich, meaningful context, imbued with emotional tone, accompanied by facial expressions, and anchored in a natural, reciprocal rhythm. That asterisk is where true language lives and flourishes, not passively absorbed from videos. So, what are your alternatives when you, as a human parent, genuinely need a break? Because let's face it, sometimes you absolutely need 10 minutes to prepare dinner without a baby constantly on your hip. The solution is to create a safe, stimulating play space where your baby can independently explore engaging toys. Even if they fuss a little, they are actually learning the invaluable skill of self-entertainment, developing their attention span, and actively utilizing their burgeoning imagination. Better yet, engage them verbally while you cook. Narrate your actions. I'm cutting the carrots now. Can you hear that satisfying crunching sound? Now the carrots are gently going into the pot. It might feel a little silly at first, but this consistent, descriptive verbalization is truly language gold for their developing minds. Number 4, overly noisy and flashing toys. Speaking of hijacked attention, let's turn our focus to those brightly lit, music-playing toys that, in essence, perform for your child. These kinds of toys don't nurture genuine curiosity. Rather, they demand it. Observe what occurs when a child interacts with a toy that seems to do everything on its own. The toy produces all the noises. The toy performs all the actions. The toy dictates the entire play sequence. Your child, in this scenario, becomes a passive audience member, not an active, creative participant. Now, consider what happens with truly simple, open-ended toys. A set of basic blocks, a humble wooden spoon and an ordinary pot, or even just a discarded cardboard box. Suddenly, your child is compelled to imagine what these items could become. They are the creators of the storyline. They must figure out how different pieces fit together, how they can be manipulated to achieve a desired outcome. This is the fertile ground where essential executive function skills truly develop. This is where unbridled creativity is born. This is problem-solving happening in real time, organically. Moreover, and this is a crucial point, simple toys are inherently calming. There's no frantic competition for attention. Play naturally becomes more focused, intentional, and deeply absorbing. I'm not advocating for you to discard every single electronic toy you own, but I encourage you to observe what your child naturally gravitates toward when presented with a choice. You might be genuinely surprised to discover that the expensive $50 light-up toy sits neglected in a corner, while they spend an entire hour enthralled with the simple cardboard box it originally came in. That isn't a flaw in the toy. It's your child's magnificent brain instinctively craving the open-ended, imaginative play it fundamentally needs to flourish. Now, everything we've explored so far impacts your baby's long-term development over the course of months and years. But this next category demands immediate attention because, unlike the others, these products pose an immediate and potentially lethal danger. Number 5. Infant sleep positioners and cushioned sleep pods. Okay, we absolutely need to pause here and take this seriously, because I'm about to discuss a product that major health organizations have issued urgent, dire warnings about. And yet, I can almost guarantee you've seen it recommended in parenting groups just this very week. I'm talking about infant sleep positioners, cushioned sleep pods, those deceptively cozy-looking nests that promise better sleep, reduced reflux, and an overall sense of security. This, unequivocally, is the one product on this entire list that genuinely scares me. Not merely frustrates me, not just concerns me, but actively instills fear. The American Academy of Pediatrics is crystal clear, unequivocally stating that babies must sleep on a firm, flat surface with absolutely nothing else in the crib. This means no soft cushions, no specialized positioning devices, no bumpers, nothing at all. And there are two critical reasons for this non-negotiable directive. First, the immediate and severe safety risk. Soft, yielding surfaces restrict a baby's natural, instinctive movements and dramatically increase the risk of suffocation. Even if your baby appears perfectly comfortable and settled, these products create inherently dangerous entrapment situations where they could inadvertently turn their face into a soft surface and be unable to turn away, leading to rebreathing carbon dioxide. But here's a consequence that is far less discussed: the profound developmental impact. When babies sleep on firm, flat surfaces, they naturally engage in small, subconscious movements throughout their sleep cycle. They turn their heads, subtly shift their weight, and adjust their position. These seemingly minor movements are incredibly important. They actively strengthen nascent muscles, refine motor skills, and contribute to overall body awareness. Cushion pods, by their very design, restrict and prevent all of these essential movements. There's also a crucial sensory component. A bare crib allows your baby to dimly perceive their surrounding environment, to track subtle light and shadows, and to clearly hear ambient sounds. This provides gentle, appropriate stimulation. Cushion pods, conversely, create a visually monotonous, enclosed space that significantly reduces vital sensory input, potentially hindering their spatial awareness and environmental processing. But what about flat spots on their head, you ask? That is indeed a valid concern, and it's important to address it. However, the solution is emphatically asterisk, not a dangerous sleep positioner. The healthy, safe alternatives include increasing supervised tummy time when your baby is awake, regularly varying the direction they face in the crib to distribute pressure, and simply holding them more frequently during awake hours. The bottom line is unequivocal. A firm, bare crib is a safe crib. Use only a properly fitted sheet, a wearable blanket for warmth if needed, and absolutely nothing else. I know it might look stark and even a little empty, but this simplicity is precisely what ensures your baby's utmost safety and optimal development. Now, let's address devices that employ rocking or vibrating motions to soothe your baby, such as swings or bouncers. And listen, I completely understand. When you've been holding a crying baby for the third consecutive hour, the idea of a swing that can take over and offer a moment of respite feels like an answered prayer. These products promise immediate relief, and they deliver on that promise. However, here's what we inadvertently trade away in the process: attunement. Attunement is that profound, intuitive process where you intimately learn your baby's unique rhythms. It's when you can instinctively discern their hungry cry from their tired cry. It's when you discover that your baby calms best with a specific, gentle swaying motion or a particular humming sound that you create. This learning, crucially, goes both ways. Your baby is simultaneously learning your asterisk rhythms, the distinct way you hold them, your unique scent, the comforting beat of your heart. This reciprocal exchange is the very foundation upon which secure attachment forms. When a machine assumes the role of primary soother, that invaluable reciprocal learning simply doesn't occur. Babies can inadvertently become dependent on the mechanical motion. They start to need the swing to fall asleep. They struggle to settle without the constant vibration. Here's a fundamental truth about human soothing. It is inherently irregular, nuanced, and dynamic. Your breathing naturally changes. Your swaying isn't perfectly rhythmic or constant, and it is precisely that variability that helps babies learn to regulate their own delicate nervous systems. They aren't merely maintained in a constant, artificial state. They are actively learning to modulate and transition between different states of arousal and calm. Now, If you occasionally use a swing for a brief 5-minute break to, say, use the bathroom, that's perfectly reasonable and understandable. But if the swing becomes the primary method through which your baby consistently falls asleep, we are inadvertently fostering a dependency that will make everything significantly harder in the long term for both of you. The truly powerful alternatives involve active, connected engagement. Baby wearing, gentle rocking in your arms, comforting skin-to-skin contact, and establishing consistent, loving bedtime routines. These approaches undoubtedly demand more upfront effort, more presence, and more patience. However, they build something enduring and profoundly valuable. A baby who feels deeply secure and connected with you, and who progressively develops their own innate capacity for self-soothing. Your loving presence, your responsive touch, your unique scent, these are infinitely more powerful and effective than any machine could ever hope to be. We've now comprehensively covered products impacting movement, crucial brain development, and restorative sleep. But there's one final product category that subtly touches upon all three of these vital areas, and it's likely nestled in your diaper bag right this very moment. Number 7. Food pouches and various delayed self-feeding tools. Food pouches are undeniably ubiquitous. They promise no mess, require no prep, come perfectly portioned, and are incredibly convenient for travel. For occasional use, as a temporary solution, they are perfectly acceptable. But here lies the significant issue. When food pouches evolve into the primary way a child consumes their meals, we inadvertently deprive them of crucial, multifaceted developmental experiences that are essential for their growth. Let me vividly illustrate what your baby is instinctively meant to be learning during the rich, sensory experience of meal times. They are learning to actively use their hands to pick up and manipulate foods of vastly different textures. The delicate force required to grasp a slippery banana slice versus the firm grip needed for a crunchy cracker. They are meticulously developing fine motor skills as they bring food precisely to their mouth. They are vigorously strengthening the complex oral muscles essential for effective chewing and, ultimately, for clear and articulate speech. They are also embarking on a profound sensory exploration of food through all their senses. What does a blueberry feel like when you gently squeeze it between your fingers? What distinctive aroma does a sweet potato emit? What fascinating transformation occurs when I enthusiastically smash this ripe avocado? However, when every morsel comes exclusively from a pouch, that invaluable sensory exploration is largely bypassed. Food transforms into a uniform, insipid, smooth texture, requiring virtually no chewing, no intricate manipulation, and absolutely no opportunity for vibrant discovery. And there's another equally important dimension. Self-feeding is a powerful builder of confidence and autonomy. When your baby successfully manages to get a piece of food into their mouth, their face illuminates with a profound sense of pride and accomplishment. I did this. I am capable. Pouches, unfortunately, tend to foster prolonged dependency. Even toddlers who are perfectly capable of using utensils often remain reliant on pouches because it's perceived as easier and undeniably cleaner. Now, before any feelings of guilt begin to surface, please know that I completely, empathetically understand the immense appeal. Mess is indeed exhausting for any busy parent, but here is what I deeply want you to consider. That very mess, in its raw, chaotic glory, is a powerful form of learning. Those brightly smashed peas smeared across the high chair tray, that's your baby actively figuring out fundamental cause and effect. That bit of banana nestled in their hair, that's genuine sensory exploration and invaluable fine motor practice in action. So, take a deep breath and start with easy-to-grasp finger foods. Offer a diverse array of textures and temperatures. Empower them to explore their food extensively with their hands even before they attempt to eat it. Provide them with a baby spoon to hold, even if their current dexterity means they can't yet use it effectively. Yes, it will undeniably be messy. So, place a protective mat beneath the high chair. dress them in comfortable clothes you don't particularly cherish, and crucially, take a photo and laugh because that magnificent mess is wonderfully temporary. The profound, foundational skills they are meticulously building during these messy, joyful explorations, however, those will last an entire lifetime. Now, here's what's truly astonishing about every single item on this list we've discussed. Every single one of these products was invented within the relatively recent span of the last 40 to 70 years. Baby walkers, for instance, largely emerged in the 1950s. Bumbo seats are a product of the early 2000s. And food pouches, they've only truly gained widespread popularity in the last 15 years. This significant historical context means that millions upon millions of babies, including your own parents and grandparents, developed perfectly fine, healthy, and capable, without the aid or supposed necessity of any asterisk of them. So, why do we suddenly feel an overwhelming need for them now? The simple, liberating truth is, we don't. But the baby product industry is a colossal $67 billion industry, and they are exceptionally skilled at creating and reinforcing the perception that you absolutely do need them. So, here's what I truly want you to grasp and internalize. These products were undoubtedly not conceived with malicious intent. The companies that create them genuinely believe they are offering a helpful solution, and the parents who purchase them are undoubtedly doing their absolute best for their children. But remember at the outset when I mentioned these products were quietly holding your child back. Here's precisely what I mean by that subtle, insidious, quietly. These developmental delays don't arrive with a loud announcement. You won't receive a notification alert on your phone indicating that your baby's core strength isn't developing adequately. There's no sudden pop-up warning that their language skills are lagging behind their peers. It simply unfolds slowly, invisibly, almost imperceptibly, until suddenly you find yourself at the 18-month checkup, and the pediatrician is asking a series of questions you weren't quite expecting. Is she walking steadily and confidently? How many words is he consistently saying? Can she feed herself effectively with a spoon? And you're left thinking, with a sense of quiet alarm, wait, I genuinely thought we were diligently doing everything right. Here's the profound, foundational truth. Real, robust development happens organically through unfettered movement, through deep, secure connection, through tactile touch, through joyful exploration, and simply through the gift of unhurried time. It unfolds naturally on the floor, nestled securely in your loving arms, through imaginative play with simple, open-ended toys, amidst the wonderful chaos of messy meals, and during all those countless ordinary moments that might otherwise feel entirely unremarkable. You do not need every trending, expensive product on the market. You do not need the most elaborate, costly gear. What you truly need is to profoundly trust the innate wisdom of the developmental process itself, to wholeheartedly believe that your baby's body and brain instinctively know what they need, and to provide abundant opportunities for that natural development to unfold, rather than trying to prematurely accelerate or artificially enhance it. So here's a practical, actionable step I want you to take. Don't feel pressured to instantly discard everything in your nursery. But tonight, after you've gently settled your baby to sleep, take just 5 quiet minutes. Walk slowly through your home and ask yourself one simple, yet profoundly transformative question. Is this product doing something my baby should be learning or is already learning to do themselves? That's it. One powerful question. It will fundamentally change everything about your perspective. Please drop a comment right now and tell me which product on this list most genuinely surprised you. Was it the baby walker, the pervasive screens, or perhaps the dangerous sleep positioners? And if this video has indeed reshaped your understanding and perspective on these common products, please consider sharing it with another parent you care about. Because sometimes, the most truly helpful and impactful thing we can do for one another is to collaboratively make more informed, conscious choices. Your unwavering presence, your boundless patience, your unwavering willingness to let development unfold at its own magnificent, natural pace. That asterisk is ultimately more powerful, more beneficial, and more valuable than anything money could ever hope to buy.